Today, we continue our intergalactic adventure with our favourite Cosmic Vigilante, and in this issue, it's time for a good old-fashioned heist. This is Space Ghost number 3.
I'm a geek. I use stop bubbles when I speak. I'm a freak because she's a seed out for me. I'm unique. There is only one of me. I'm complete, so I really don't care what you think of me. I'm a geek.
Hello there, Comic Clan, and welcome to Comics and the Cross, the greatest streamers and YouTubers you've never heard of. I'm Cross, and today we are looking at Space Ghost number 3 from Dynamite Entertainment. If you missed out on our reviews of issues 1 and 2 of this series, you can go and click on the card up in the corner and check those out for yourselves. But before we jump into our adventure, if you are enjoying the content from Comics and the Cross, be sure to hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss out on any future videos from us. And also click that like button, as it really does help us out in the long run. As for Space Ghost number 3, our winning creative team from issues 1 and 2 return, with David Pepose back as the writer, art from Jonathan Law, colours by Andrew Dalhouse, and lettering from Taylor Esposito. As this issue begins, we jump right into the action as we find that Space Ghost, Jan, Jason Blip have been going from the worst to the worst that the galaxy has to offer, and that no matter where they go, Robocorps seem to have their hands in absolutely everything. During a battle with some lizard slavers, we see that Jan and Jace are getting into the fight, but are talking about a bet that they have with each other about who can take out the most of them. Space Ghost gets angry at this as he feels that they aren't taking this very seriously and don't seem to register the danger is real and that they can really get hurt. As they're about to be overwhelmed by the slavers get dragged off by plants that have started growing into the area. And we see that the plants are being controlled by a woman called the Widow. She states she has a deal and comes with a plan to hack Robocorps' central mainframe, but needs a couple of heroes to help her pull it off. As Space Ghost starts to get high and mighty about not working with her as she's a criminal, she hints that she knows about him and his past, and offers him and the kids justice for their families, and a chance to find out why Robocorps is after them. Jan and Jace don't believe that what they've been doing is working so far, and this is at least worth a shot. The plan takes them on a full-blown infiltration of Robocorps Tower. This is done by tranquilizing guards, making their way through the ventilation ducts, and using Space Ghost's ability to manipulate ambient light to get past a laser grid. However, like any good heist story, it's time to reveal another layer to it, and along with a good double cross at that. The Widow had met with Robocorps CEO Dr. Xander Eibel 3 days earlier, with a deal to bring Space Ghost and the team straight to them, and in exchange, she not only wanted the bounty on their head, but to know why they were so valuable to Robocorps. This is where we find out that Blip contains proprietary tech of Robocorps, a binary language integrated prototype, hence the name Blip. It's the only one to exist, and it is needed for their plans across the universe to begin to move forward. Back in the present, the team splits, with Jan and Blip going with the Widow to the CEO's suite to activate a decryption key and to download the information. Space Ghost and Jace go to activate a secondary decryption key needed for this process to begin. The Widow then starts to sweet talk Jan about how impressed she is with her, and invites her to leave Space Ghost and come with her instead and be raised and trained by a woman who can help build her up to who she's meant to be. Jan completely rejects this idea and shows that she is loyal to Space Ghost for taking her and her brother in. And with that decision, the Widow springs her trap, having her plants entangle Space Ghost and Jace at their location, and Jan and Blip are quickly ensnared by those same plans right there in the CEO office. Jan immediately realizes that the Widow has made a deal with Robocorps, As she gets the widow monologuing, Jan is able to grab and pick up an award trophy and cuts the vines that are holding her. She makes one attempt to go for the widow and receives a backhand from her. As Jan falls to the ground, the widow realizes that Jan is now wearing her bracelet. In the scene earlier where they had been kind of bonding and getting to know one another, we had seen that Jan had managed to work out that the widow's bracelet was actually how she had been controlling the plants. And the widow confirmed this to her and even commended her for working it out. Jan then uses the bracelet to free the boys and also to tie up the widow and leave her waiting for Robocore. They also leave a note hanging with her telling Robocore that they are next. Honestly, this was a really good continuation of the Space Ghost story that we've been getting so far. I really enjoyed the switch up of getting to have a lot more action in this issue. Not that I haven't enjoyed the character development that we've gotten so far, but it felt like the first real issue where we've just been getting into the action and seeing our full team of heroes going into these scenarios and their first real mission together. But we also do still get that character development, which is really nice. Space Ghost's hard shell, we see it cracking when he realizes that this mission was a chance to help the kids, and these kids that he hadn't really wanted to pick up, he had started to, really care for them. And even though he was uneasy about taking this mission and feeling that it was a risk, he decided it was the best thing to do. We also continue to see that Jan is showing that she's not your average preteen with a highly skilled and intelligent mind with a real skill for deduction. Jace also is showing that he is pretty capable in situations, although not quite as prominently as Jan is shown, has been shown in the last few issues. He's still not just a sideline character and definitely has a role to play. This is also a great issue for nostalgia for the fans of Space Ghost. The Widow and Dr. Xander Eyeball being callbacks to original Space Ghost series. Albeit they come with a new coat of paint from their original characters, especially Eyeball, but if you do recognise him and his role in the past and what he was like, then you may start to get on to exactly what Robocore is up to. If you do, keep it to yourself. Keep it a secret for those that don't know what's coming yet. I know I will be. But with this issue, the thought and planning of this story is starting to show, and I have to say this deep planning and this interconnectivity it's the stuff that I live for and that I absolutely eat up as a fan. So absolute fantastic work from David Pepose on this. I have to highly commend him for it. And honestly, what can I say about the art that I haven't said before in the previous reviews? Law's art and Dalhouse's colours continue to be an amazing highlight of this book. And I know full well how highly I've praised the writing of it, and the art has no issue keeping up pace for this grand epic space adventure story that's beginning to unfold. I absolutely recommend that Space Ghost is one for you to pick up, whether you go to your local comic book store, whether you read comics digitally. It's only 3 issues in. Go get them, go check them out, go get caught up and join in for the rest of the adventure for when issue 4 drops. But that is it for us for today. Have you been reading the Space Ghost series so far? And if so, what do you think of it? Are you a fan of this new take on it, and how do you think it stacks up compared to the original? Also, what other comics would you like to see us cover here on the channel? Leave all of this in the comments below. And if you are interested, just to let you all know as well, we do have a Patreon where you can get early access to our reviews from not only our comic book channel, but also our gaming channel as well. And also access to our indie comic book club that we do, comic book club podcast that we do and release on Patreon 1 month ahead of it dropping on YouTube as well as a whole bunch of exclusive content specifically for our supporters there on Patreon. And also, as I mentioned, did you know that we have a gaming channel, and we also do reviews for tabletop games and video games over there. So if you want to go and check that out, if that's something that you're interested in, then the link for that will also be down below. Please go and check it out and show some love to our gaming channel. But for now, that is it from us. Take care, and remember, it is a good week to be a geek. We'll see you all next time. Peace.